The Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com and use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB apparel. Swing Juice, wear it, feel it, play it. On episode 32, the return of the Sketty.
I'm back.
2 weeks in a row. We have reactions from NFL Week 7 and the weekend of college football. Texas passes a law involving transgender athletes. They become the 10th state to do so. 10 more facts for you from years past in sports history. And in the things that sting, the artists formerly known as the Cleveland Indians are facing a lawsuit in federal court over their name change. Delonte West becomes the latest Things That Sting alumni. And in My Hive, we have Kelly Renzel joining us on video. If you've been a fan of the show and listened, in My Hive segment, he's been on the My Hive segment twice. He's the head groundskeeper for the Buffalo Bisons. Struggling to find my spot here. He's going to come on. We're going to discuss the Fall Classic. He is a longtime Braves fan. And we're going to discuss PETA and their hurt feelings. And then we're going to talk about everybody's most hated teams around the league. As soon as I get this started, let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe Bees and Kylie Munch.
This week's opening segment is brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Kylie had family mishap. Not mishap, but just a loss in his family, and so he couldn't be with us this week. Thank you for filling in again. So
Absolutely.
Thinking about Kylie, of course, we miss him. Love having him on the show. So we're gonna get into it. Let's see what I have here to start us off. NFL reactions. I guess that's not really breaking news. We do that every week, correct?
Big reaction.
All right, so we're going to get started. Cincinnati Bengals make a statement. Just beat the shit right out of Baltimore.
They're good.
They're pretty good.
They're ahead of schedule. I thought they were a couple years.
Yeah, I'd say they're a team that's no longer under the radar. 41-7 win or 41-17 win. Held Lamar under 50% passing and sacked him 5 times. Burrow 416 with 3 touchdowns. Chase 8 for 201 and a touchdown. If he doesn't, they should just Rookie of the Year now.
Absolutely. He's made you look really silly.
Well, no, he hasn't made me look silly. He's made whatever happened to him in training camp look silly because I wasn't the only one who was like, what the fuck are you talking about with white stripes on the ball? A lot of people were.
I wasn't going to touch him in fantasy because he was terrible preseason.
His quote alone is enough for you not to want to touch him in literally anything. But
he just slow rolled everyone.
And
hustler.
Joe Burrow just looking like he's been in the league for a lot longer than he has been. Did you see his quote on crowd noise?
Oh, yeah.
Said it's not an issue. Every SEC stadium is louder than any NFL stadium, which is probably true. And that's probably true even in the Big Ten, though, I would say, just because of you have double the amount of people and a lot, if not close to double the amount of people. So the Bengals is, on the road this week against the Jets. We're going to get into that in 3-bagger. That may or may not be one of my picks. We'll see. No idea what's happening upstairs in my house right now, but it didn't sound good. Just that team, they were under the radar, in my opinion, for the first, 6 weeks of the season. I mean, they put some wins together, stringing some wins together, but they were a team that everybody's just kind of like, meh, the Bengals. And now we're talking about them being the number 2 seed.
I think they're the
1 seed, right? Currently, if playoff, of course, long season to go, but they caught the attention of everybody by just hammering Baltimore, I would think.
I agree. I mean, this is one, again, if Kylie was here, he'd tell you he would kind of was on them early.
He was, yeah, and he was. We talk about that in our group text all the time. He was not saying they were going to be where they are, but they're definitely ahead of schedule. Moving on, the Chiefs struggles continue. They drop a 27-3 to the Titans. Mahomes throws a pick, leaves with a head injury.
Yeah, he's there. We've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. There's something wrong there. I read one guy suggested it's the line play. The line play is no good. He knows the defense isn't good, and Mahomes is just trying to force too much, and that's where these turnovers. I think he's currently tied for the lead.
He is tied for the league in interceptions with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, which that's unheard of.
The one thing I wanted to talk about with this game, the missing poster I posted on the Facebook page. Kylie had a reaction to that where he's like, he leads the league in this, and this.
Yeah,
that's fine. I think Colin Cowherd. Did you see the video? Didn't I send you that video? The one of him talking about Mahomes and the media and the blowback and all of that.
I don't. You might have.
Okay, so what Cowherd said is that the media always plays it safe because they're afraid of social media blowback. And Cowherd claims that's why he has so many followers is because he doesn't do that. He gets a lot of people to disagree with him, but they follow him and listen to what he has to say, right?
Yep.
And he calls these takes safetyisms. And he went on about how they say the safe stuff, like I said, for the fear of social media blowback. Mahomes' last 3 games, he's thrown more picks than touchdowns. He has a passer rating of 75, and he's completing 62% of his passes. It's okay to criticize him.
Yeah, he just hasn't been good.
And that's basically what Cowherd said, and that's how I feel. Like, we understand who he is. We know what he's capable of. It doesn't mean he's not good. It just means he's not playing well.
Yeah, he's playing poorly.
That's really where I'm at with Mahomes. Is has nothing to do with his abilities. We know what he's capable of. The guy has made throws that we've all just been speechless about. Like, how the fuck did he get that throw off? Or the no look that he started doing, all the stuff that just has been happening. So again, like I said, it doesn't mean he's not going to bounce back. It just, to me, means he's not good right now.
Yeah, there's either something wrong with the line, he's forcing things, whatever it is. He's just playing poorly right now. And everyone, Brady, Manning, Marino, all the greats, you're going to go through stretches like this. It's
well, yeah, and that's what he compared it to 3 years of Aaron Rodgers, where Aaron Rodgers played. He says regressed. He said granular. That was the word he used. Very small amount, but he did regress. And then he, has an MVP season last year. It's just the nature of the game. But I can't remember exactly. I actually put my phone up here so I could look to see who teams were playing next week, but I'll have to check that after. I can't remember if the Chiefs are off or if they play.
No, they play. I think they're even Monday night. It's like a 10-point spread. I looked at it. It's not a good team.
Yeah.
Because I thought about picking them, and I said, nah.
I can't remember exactly. Oh, it's the Giants.
Oh, yes.
Giants 10 and a half or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Sunday night, Monday night. But
yeah. All right, so we'll move on. We have the Bucks and the Bears. Now, the game itself, I really have nothing to talk about. We could talk about Fields. Posted 3 interception day, sacked 4 times, 44.3 passer rating. I recall a bunch of people on different social media sites saying that it was time to move on from Dalton and get the future going. And I am not, I'm not opposed to getting rookies in and getting them playing time and game speed. And Allen was in his rookie year. A lot of guys are. It's not brand new stuff, right? But a lot of people thought, do you want to chance to win now? Because Dalton definitely gives you a better chance to win now, I think, than Justin Fields does.
Yeah, you're talking about somebody who's going to be a game manager, just hopefully doesn't turn the ball over. Fields is going to be out there learning. But it's the Bucks. They won the Super Bowl last year. Their pass D hasn't been great this year, but man,
right.
The overreaction if you think them getting pounded by the Bucks is the end of Fields and a mistake.
Well, yeah, and I don't think I definitely don't think it's the end of Fields. I just think that I don't believe that it was necessary yet. And they kept saying, I think Nagy did it out of pressure. I've said this before, pressure from the fans, pressure from probably the front office, because everybody was like, move on, let's get going. Let's get going with him. Dalton got hurt. It's a perfect opportunity. Well, when Dalton comes back, he's our starter. When Dalton comes back, he's starting. When he's healthy, he's our guy. and then a tweet like 12 hours later, Justin Fields named starter of the Bears. It's like clearly that wasn't his, and I don't think that was Nagy's intention.
Well, he's trying to keep his job.
I think so too, and that's where you're
please ownership.
Correct, and the fan base, because when they start getting all restless, that's when the owners catch attention to if they're paying attention to what's going on. But the real story of the game is Brady's 600th touchdown pass and the transaction, I guess we can call it, that took place after.
Well, what would you like to talk about first?
Well, we're going to start with, just in case anybody didn't see this, which I don't know how you didn't, Brady throws his 600th career touchdown pass to Mike Evans. Mike Evans just runs over to the fan, hands it to him, no big deal. Gets to the bench, and you can see his reaction where they're like, bro, that was the 600 touchdown pass. And you can see his face like, oh, shit. So I want to talk about the deal.
The deal for, okay.
Because they went over and negotiated with the fan, and they said, initially it started out with like some,
it was like,
here's what I have. I have everything that ended up being the deal.
Okay.
It started off with 2 signed Tom Brady jerseys and a helmet.
Yep.
A signed jersey from Mike Evans and his game cleats.
Yep.
$1,000 to the team store.
Yep.
And 2 season tickets for the rest of this year and next year.
Yep.
So now,
I believe you got a Bitcoin too.
Well, we're going to get to that because he came back with what he was hoping for, because everybody said like Brady's going to do something.
Yeah.
Brady's going to do something. He wanted to golf with Brady. He just wanted a round of golf with him, which maybe he'll still get. I don't know. But Brady did gift him a Bitcoin, which is worth just shy of $63,000.
Yeah, and I mean the fan didn't give enough. He's an idiot. He should have never.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying deal or no deal. So I want to, if anybody's wants to chime in on this, would you have accepted that offer? The ball was estimated about, what did they say, $500,000 it would have gone for, possibly?
I think I saw that number. I never saw a real hard guess, but I mean, no one's ever thrown for 600 touchdown passes before. Right. It's Tom Brady. I would say 10 years down the road when he's retired, but who knows with Brady, he might still be playing.
Probably will be. When his 800th touchdown pass.
When Tom, then it doesn't matter.
Right, and that's the question other people are asking. Is he going to get to 700?
Well, it's possible.
Who knows? 3 more years. Well, I would say it would probably be about what it would take him.
I would think so, yeah.
The way he hugs.
They don't run the ball, so.
No. So, yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I would have held out.
I think I would have too, yeah.
Yeah, and then if players got mad that I held out, I would be like, I get mad when you hold out.
Exactly.
So we're even now. You see why. You wanted more money. I want more shit for this. Like season tickets for the rest of this year and next year, that's kind of a slap. Like that could be a lifetime deal. That's not going to cost $1 anything.
Yeah, that 2 years wasn't enough.
Even 10.
Yeah, I would have negotiated
10 seasons.
And said, no.
Every year Brady plays.
Yeah,
How about that?
I like
if Brady's here, you get season tickets.
The Bucks might have said no deal. It'd be too long.
Yeah. Then maybe it would cost them some money. All right, so we're gonna move on. I think pretty much, we're heading into Cleveland. The Browns practice squad defeats the Broncos. Still not a lot on this game. I just took a couple notes. Keenum, obviously, the Broncos could possibly be the biggest fraud of the 3-0 teams, but they're going to really battle that out with Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're both not good 3-0 teams.
Darnold, your boy, getting benched.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, I guess. But Cleveland, Dearness Johnson looked
really
phenomenal.
Good.
Phenomenal.
And that was a point I brought up on some other page from the podcast page, because I do that news feed thing where I can comment from the podcast page. And I said, this is why you don't overpay running backs.
Exactly. Yep.
Because you have a great offensive line, and look what this guy who, they did the whole, he's following his dream and everything. And I was just like, yeah, and he could do that. There's a lot of guys out there who could be in his position because they're talented running backs, and you just need a great offensive line.
Yep. You just got to get that right opportunity. And, I got to kind of, eat some crow on that a little bit, because that smelled like a Browns trap game, typical letdown. And they went out and just,
Well, I will say it was probably one of the most boring games I've ever watched.
Yeah, it wasn't like
it's
great
up there.
Football, but they just looked dominant the whole time.
Right.
And it was never in danger, I felt.
Yeah. Moving on to the Rams keep the Lions winless. Goff versus Stafford. So I had some interest in that game. The Lions threw everything they had at the Rams. And the Rams won just purely because they're the better team. But if the Lions caught like a middle tier team doing the shit that they did on Sunday, they get a win.
Oh, I mean, I
think they're close.
I missed probably the first half of the game because I remember a text in the group chat saying, "How is this game close right now? What's going on?"
Was it two fake punts that were successful and an onside kick? They score on their opening drive, long touchdown by DeAndre Swift, and then onside kick it, get the ball right back, end up kicking a field goal, I think. But and then run two fake punts like around midfield. They were just, Dan Campbell was like, let's fucking go. We're going to give you everything we got.
They are going to get a win before the end of this year.
They're going to get a win this week.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, they're showing progress. There were 16-point dogs in that game. The late field goal is literally what made it a 2-possession game to begin with.
I think I said something to you guys. The Lions are kind of like my early prediction for next year, worst to first. Rodgers leaves that division. They're looking sharp. They get, they're going to have a good draft pick.
Minnesota's still pretty good.
I have no.
I think they're better than the Lions.
Who's going to be the quarterback? Kirk Cousins has got like 1 year left, maybe. Is he done after?
I don't know. I would imagine he's going to stick around though, but they did draft that Mon from so who knows?
That's my early prediction.
Early prediction for next season: worst to first, Detroit. Yep. I would support it because they're just so hard to not like. I like to support them when I can,
and they're losing a lot of close games,
right? And I like Dan Campbell grew on me in like 2 weeks. I thought he was a fucking psychopath at the beginning of the season with his press conference, and then crying at the press conference a couple weeks ago. And then I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Hey, he's just passionate." Might have been Kylie who said that, but I was just like, "Yeah, I don't know." But then now, like, he's just trying real hard, and I can appreciate that he's not giving up. He's not saying we're going to lay down. He's right, like what he said. We're going to get punched in the mouth. We're going to get back up. That's literally happened 7 weeks in a row now. Yep. So I'm excited for their first win whenever it does come. We'll see. Cards Texans, we have a second scoregami.
Yep.
Back-to-back weeks.
5 is a good one.
31-5. Never happened before, so scoregami. As predicted. We'll talk about that in 3-bagger. The low over-under, big spread. Cards cover easy. And what did you text me at like the third quarter?
Like the third quarter because it was only like a 19-point lead.
Yeah, and you got
sweat.
No, don't. That's sports betting. That shows your, what would it be called? Lack of experience.
Definitely, I've never gambled on sports. So when I do my 3-bagger picks later, those are the ones you want to play
because you've never done. Yeah, it could be. You ain't overthinking. You're just throwing one out there. But no, you don't. When you're betting a game, I mean, if it's like you can tell when it's a total fuck job and you ain't gonna win anything. But you can also see when things are happening and just let it play out.
Well, I was kind of
clock reads 0,
messing with you a little bit because I was thinking they were going to be. I thought they were going to be up by 30 at that point.
It did nothing. So yeah, we're just gonna touch on a couple more games here. Actually, just one. Colts Niners.
Lock of the decade.
Lock of the decade. Didn't go in your favor.
Well, how was I supposed to predict that storm that came through?
Who was it? Yeah. Well, if you check the weather.
I should have checked the weather
right.
Thursday.
You always check the weather of these games.
Well,
always.
I was kind of on the spot.
Unless it's indoor.
I was on the spot.
Yeah. So Jimmy G, a lot of former players coming out saying that all they're hearing is excuses and
Jimmy Two Gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him.
No, I still think when he has protection, he's fine.
Effective.
Yeah.
But
that was a lot of slop in that game, which you could kind of see that last pick was just, the Niners were in that game. It just, they blew it down the stretch. The ball slips out of his hand. He throws a bad pick. But yeah, the Niners are a mess. The Niners are a hot mess right now for where we expect them.
I just think too, when you lose the faith of like former players.
Yeah.
Because they chime in. I mean, the Bills players chime in on them all the time. I listen to them talk shit on guys for years.
Yep.
Now they love Josh Allen, but
right.
No, it's just it's a bad look because that's what the fans hear. The fans hear what the old guys are saying. The old guys who are good, and then they get kind of.
I still don't know what they do though because Trey Lance isn't ready, so
right.
Be thrown to the wolves. The Niners,
right? Then you have a Justin Fields situation, which is
and people are acting like this is the end of the world. Like with 7 teams getting in now, they're only like a game back of the 7th seed. Like
sure.
they're still like 10th or 11th place.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
the
and
season.
a lot of games to go.
A lot of games. I looked at the schedule. I personally think they should just put Lance in and start tanking games. Let's get that draft.
They got a tough one the rest of the way.
Yeah, there's like, I can't remember what they are. 2 and 4 now, right? I
Yeah.
think there's 11 games. Like, I think if they go 6 and 5, that would be pretty impressive.
Okay. 6 and 5
That would be
in the last 11.
Yes, that would be impressive.
Would that get them in? They'd be 8 and 9. No,
Yeah,
they ain't gonna get in.
no,
Not gonna get in.
that's
That's
what
just
I'm
a
saying.
tough division too, and that's the
Well,
problem
You got 2
Is
games
it-
against the Rams,
that they haven't played yet. One
against the Cardinals.
more against the Cardinals.
You got the Seahawks again, which Russ I think is close to back.
For that.
one.
Okay,
You got to play the Bengals.
right. The Bengals are good.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like Jacksonville. I think is one that's maybe.
College football. Oh, there it is. Got my banner up. Illinois, Penn State.
Unbelievable.
9 overtimes, 20-18. They dropped to 20th in the rankings. Penn State does. So it was painful. The 2-point attempt that they start at the start of the third overtime. So I counted through this just to make sure I was correct, and I think I'm correct. 10 plays from 2-point conversion distance consecutively. Nobody scored.
That's impressive.
That's 3 yards away.
I was working, so I missed that game, and I'm just happy I did.
I would have rather been at work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Through 7 overtime or something like. No, it would have been 10 plays. They each score in the 8th overtime, and then obviously Illinois scores in the 9th. Penn State doesn't, so they win 20-18. So I bet the under in that game,
Okay.
and it was 45.5. And I started to get concerned when the overtime started because I'm like, man, if they start pumping in 2-point conversions left and right.
Right.
Luckily, they just fucked up 10 in a row, and they only ended with 38. So the under hits. Also, don't ever bet unders. Life's too
No.
short.
Overs only club.
Yeah.
Port don't even tell you.
Portnoy, yeah,
Port
the
don't
over.
even tell you. The question is, are you going to take Penn State this week? Because this is right for them to finally beat Ohio State.
Probably not. I think Ohio State's starting to click a little.
I'm just telling you, they've lost to Ohio
What's
State.
the
for
line?
how many years?
Do you
I
know?
have no idea. I didn't
Yeah, I'd
look.
have to
I'm
look.
just
I haven't
saying,
looked at any college football
this is
lines
a Penn
yet.
State thing to do. Lose to Iowa, lose to Illinois,
And then
go
beat Ohio, and it's
State.
the year they
Yeah,
beat Ohio
yep,
State. Yeah.
yep.
So Kansas, the team I bet against every week, I made that clear. Connecticut, UConn, Kansas, every week bet against them. You're going to end up with more wins than you will losses. Not this week though. Kansas gave Oklahoma just about everything they had, and it it almost was like Lions Rams. Like they were just sticking around. Then there was the play that nobody's still sure if it was legal or not,
I didn't see this.
where Caleb Williams, the quarterback, ripped the ball out. He was standing in front of the running back, rips the ball out of his hands and turns around and starts running with it. So he stripped his own guy. So is it a forward lateral? Is it a forward pass? They ruled it. It was fine. But everybody's still kind of like, wait.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't technically throw it.
He
so
didn't
it's not
throw it.
lateral.
He didn't hand it off. I mean, he took it from him.
Strip.
He stripped his own guy.
He got a forced fumble recovery.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know. That's goofy.
Yeah, I have no
Never heard
idea.
of that one.
Over of the week, which a lot of sharp bettors, because I pay attention to that shit on Twitter, were on Wake Forest Army under
Okay.
70-56.
A lot of defense.
The tweet of the century. Did you see it?
Oh yes, yeah, I did see that.
The Army spends
Yeah,
$800
yeah.
billion on defense, and this is the best they can do.
I like that one.
This is great. So top 25 real quick. 1 Georgia, 2 Cincy, which I was actually surprised they stayed at 2 because Cincy's, I think, in need of convincing wins their entire existence to remain in the playoff picture. They beat Navy 27-20, and I thought I was surprised that didn't drop them a little bit.
Yeah, that could come back to haunt him.
Right. Bama with 1 loss jumps Oklahoma, who has 0 losses, probably because they sucked it up against Kansas. Ohio State to 5, Michigan to 6, Oregon 7, Michigan State 8, Iowa 9, Ole Miss 10. So Iowa's back in the top 10. Ole Miss new to the top 10. Penn State, Oklahoma State, both out of the top 10. So we have, I know probably a lot of people are wondering why we haven't talked about the World Series yet. If you listen to opening, World Series is going to be covered in my hive because I have Kel Renzel coming on, Braves fan and head groundskeeper for the Buffalo Bison. If you, like I said, if you've listened to the show in the past, he's been on twice talking about his experience with the Blue Jays this summer because he works at Salem Field, and the Blue Jays used that stadium because of COVID. They were kicked out of Canada for a brief time.
Get out.
Deported.
Oh,
calm down. Kicking people out. You good? All right.
no more thumbs
Knocking
down.
mics. I need to bring your old mic back.
Yeah, I know.
The only thing I'm going to mention right now that I think is hilarious about the World Series is that there's probably nothing more ironic than the MLB moving the All-Star game from Georgia for voter ID because of voter ID laws, only to have to play World Series games there. At least 3.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't. But
Right.
Yes, great.
Yeah, so that's just funny to me. But we're going to move on to some other news in sports, not really related to college or pro, but high school. Texas becomes the 10th state. They pass a bill changing the outlook for transgender students. So it's set to take effect January 18th, 2022, after being signed by Governor Greg Abbott. What this does is it bans transgender girls. So we're talking boys who transition to girls, just so we're all on the same page here.
That's how I'd refer to it because it just gets
Right.
way too confusing.
Yeah. So it would be male transitioning to female. They are banned from participating in female sports at public schools. Supporters say it's in the name of fairness. Opposers call it transphobic. So we're both going to have some differing opinions or maybe the same opinion on this. But I think if you set your emotions aside and like truly look at this law, you do not see, and this is what we talked about previously, you do not see transgender, so would be female transitioning to male. You do not see them flocking to play male sports.
Yeah, and I wonder. You don't see it. I wonder if it's not newsworthy. I wonder if they stay in their own division. I brought up Mac Beggs, I think is what I have written down. She was she is transitioning to a he.
Okay.
On testosterone. She won her weight class 110 in Texas. And she was upset because she wanted to wrestle against the guy. She said, I'm taking testosterone. I'm transitioning. She was undefeated that year. So she just beat up on all these girls.
Right.
And because of the way that Texas does things, she just crushed them.
Right.
So it's kind of to have this law, to me, they're kind of doing the right thing because you can't have the 2 sprinters from like Connecticut, Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood that just win. They're just winning state titles.
Right.
So it's unfair one way, but the other way, it's kind of.
Yeah, I just don't. And then the way I look at it is like if I had a daughter and she worked her ass off so long and then was beat by somebody who's built different physically. Yeah. I don't see how that's fair. Like Title IX and all of this shit came into existence for a reason. Yeah. And now it's kind of just like, I just don't even know how we got to this point to where it's like you just do and be whatever the hell you want. And everybody has to be okay with it. It's not the way the world works. And that's why we have so many problems in our country to begin with, is because not everybody's going to be okay with things.
Exactly. Well, there was a girl that brought that up. She was upset with the 2 sprinters from Connecticut because she placed like 8th. If it wasn't for those 2, she would have placed 6th. She advanced to the next round and would have got to run in front of more college. So they actually are taking spots from people. Correct. And then, it's funny. So I told you today, I'm doing a little research on this and reading in some of the statements that the trans people are making about how, some people just have longer legs and some people, have shorter legs, and that's an unfair advantage. And we don't penalize them. And it's like, that's not the same thing at all.
They get penalized every day in college basketball. Yeah. The small shooter is not going to get as many college offers as the 6'5" shooter. That's just that's literally happens daily. That's exactly it. There was another one, CC Telfer. She's a Division II. She was a male sprinter, or he was a male sprinter. Transitioned to a girl. He's like 300th in the nation, and then he went and won the Division II 400 meters.
in 2019. And he said the same, well, I'm on hormone suppression, so I actually have less testosterone than some of these females I'm running against. And my thought is, well, not when you were developing, you're in college. Now that you're transitioning, sure, you have less, but your formative years, you have all this testosterone, the extra muscle mass is on you already. It's just it's tough. It
is tough.
I think I told you, I said, if this is what we really want, we want fairness. Let's do away with gendered sports altogether.
And that's something that, when you said that too, I was like, why not?
Yep.
If we're going to,
you make it,
right. Just get rid of it all and just everybody can play.
Exactly.
It's one high school volleyball team, one high school
we play with the
soccer team. And everybody can be on it.
Exactly. Yep. The best people play. And if you're not good enough to make the cut, we say, oh, that's fairness.
Right.
We're getting that equality that you
right.
But yeah, it's just the whole thing's messed up.
It is. There's just so much to it, and it's affecting so many people, both sides.
Yeah.
The people who want to be able to do it, being told no. The people who have been working hard at something their whole life to lose to somebody who just got swept into that division or that,
Exactly.
whatever. So
I love when they point to the losers too. Well, not everyone wins.
Right.
The weightlifting
in New Zealand.
Yeah. Well,
not everybody wins. Yeah.
Well, okay. That makes it great.
Well, then it's okay. Yeah.
Glad you suck at both.
When there was like the Baylor sprinter. Did you look that up at all?
I didn't look up the Baylor sprinter.
I can't remember the name or whatever, but competed in men's for a period of time. Never had like a top 100 finish or something like that. Transitioned, competed against the women, and won immediately.
Yep. And it's just, I don't know how to feel good. How to feel
right.
good about yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So it's, I don't know.
It's, you think about the South African sprinter that actually she looked very manly. She was a woman. She wasn't transitioning. She just had a high level of natural testosterone. And the Olympics wanted to ban her. They said, oh, she's got too much testosterone. That's not fair. But now it's like, you're a dude. Come on over.
Right. It does. I don't know. Sense. I can't keep up with it, to be honest. Apparently this is the 10th state that's done it. I'm guessing that I didn't hear much about it before because Texas is just always under the microscope for doing things, which they do a lot of stupid shit. But so I think that's why it's coming out like as big newsworthy. ESPN had this huge write-up, which was the headline was completely misleading if you actually read what's going on. But last bit for opening. My favorite NHL team, the Kraken, retired their first number at their first home game. They retired number 32 because they're the NHL's 32nd franchise, and they sold 32,000 season tickets.
Beautiful.
Still can't name a player on the team. And I have no idea what their record is.
I saw something.
I'm going to get better.
I think it's
just won football, football season.
I did see.
And the World Series.
Do you know the name of their stadium?
Oh, yeah.
I saw they just got their first
Climate Pledge Arena. The most perfect name for a Seattle-based company.
When I saw that today, I was just like, that's just
excellent. And I'm all for them. They want to study the climate and shit, but Seattle, rain.
Yep.
That's end of research. That's all it fucking does there. What more?
I'm kind of upset they went with the name of the Kraken. They should have been like the wind turbines or
something green.
Something green.
Yeah.
Kraken doesn't seem like a very green name. Just sailboats.
All right. That's going to wrap up opening. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back with 10 facts, sports history. See you in a minute.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, YourDailyLocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to YourDailyLocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. 10 facts. It's coming at you. I'm going to get my banners here, and we're going to go back to 1885.
Again.
I'm finding it was 1885 last week too.
Yeah.
It was. So John Ward of the New York Giants baseball team and several teammates secretly formed the Brotherhood of Professional Baseball Players, the first ever baseball players union.
Okay.
1885. So I never, I didn't.
Yeah, I had no
something
idea.
about the only thing now I can name that happened in 1885 because I don't even remember what the fact was from last week.
Don't either.
It was 1985. Next one, we're looking at 1920. A Chicago grand jury indicts Abe Attell, Hal Chase, and Bill Burns as go-betweens in the 1919 Black Sox scandal. Everybody wants to call the Astros cheaters.
Yeah, well, they cheated to lose, though, so it's okay. they made money.
But people were like, they got banned. Why isn't
they
Jose
got
Altuve
banned.
getting
Well,
banned?
yeah, just the integrity of the game, but
Yeah.
God bless the mafia, paying those guys off.
1934. Well, this is great. This is probably one of my favorite facts I've ever found.
Oh boy, 1934. All right,
1934. While the Washington Senators player manager Joe Cronin honeymoons with Mildred Robertson, the niece and adopted daughter of owner Clark Griffith, he is sold to the Red Sox. So somebody Clark clearly did not approve of this marriage.
Dad was not
Shipped him to Boston. So what? I just thought that was great.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like back then, you ask. I mean, some people still ask for the hand in marriage, right, to the dad. And I don't know if he skipped that part. Clark got pissed, or if Clark just was.
Well, maybe he asked Clark, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, asshole."
Yeah, and then sells him to the Red Sox.
Yep. Well,
Interesting one.
Or maybe his daughter just wanted to live in Boston. He was doing her a favor.
That could have been too,
Possible.
but it was while they're on the I don't know, honeymoon wedding gift. Yeah. Nobody wants to live in Boston.
No. Okay. Yep. Fair.
Place is a dump. 1937. Casey Stengel signs to manage the Boston Bees. That's a team. It's a former team.
After you just said you don't like Boston, they named a whole team after you.
Yeah, so listen to why. They were called the Boston Bees from 1936 to 1940. And it was because in 1935, they had a historically bad season, the worst winning percentage of all time, 38 wins, 115 losses.
Yikes.
So in 1940, they see that the revamp of the team, because that was what they wanted to try and do. 1941, they go back to the Braves, which we now know as the Atlanta Braves, because that's I believe the oldest baseball franchise they could be. They've been around, around for tons of different names. Maybe the Yankees are older. I'm not sure, but the Boston Braves were once the Boston Bees. That's important to me.
As it should be.
Yeah. Where are we at here? 1939. NBC becomes the first network to televise a pro football game. The Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 23-14 at Ebbets Field. So it's another swap. Yeah, I guess, the New York Giants, 1885 baseball, Brooklyn Dodgers, 1939 football, also a baseball team. So there's just so much shit from back then that I would like to read more on and learn, the name changes and all of that. 1957. This is cool too. Cincinnati Redlegs declined to move to Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City. So I found out that they were called the Redlegs.
Seems offensive to me.
No, but listen to why. And it could be now. But listen to why they changed it from the Reds. Because in 1953, the team feared association with communism.
Well,
now they embrace that shit all over the place.
Yeah, full circle. The country's gone back.
It really has.
Years, so,
it's confusing times.
I like that.
1964. The wrong way run. Viking Jim Marshall runs 66 yards in the wrong direction for a safety.
Yep, I remember that one. I believe Jim Marshall, Supreme Court Justice.
Is he?
He did something. I want to say it was.
Sure, you're not thinking of Jesse Ventura?
No, that was Governor Jesse. I'm pretty sure Jim Marshall, he did something significant in politics. I think it was Supreme Court Justice.
No shit.
I could be wrong.
I did not know that.
Fairly certain.
I didn't look it up. I've seen it. I remember seeing it. Like, I know the image, but I can't remember if he's like a big dude. Because I like fat guy touchdowns.
Well, none of them were really fat back then, but yes,
That's a good point. Yeah, they were all like, yeah, okay. Good point. 1981. George Steinbrenner scuffles with two fans in a hotel elevator. I did no more research, and I have nothing bad to say about George Steinbrenner.
He probably won the fight, right?
I don't know. I hope he did, because I'm not allowed to say that I hope he didn't for a year.
I hope he got his ass kicked. I didn't make any sense.
You didn't make any promises. You can say whatever you want. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it was about. I know nothing more than that he got into a fight with two fans in a hotel elevator. And that's my Yankee fact for the week. 1997. Coldest World Series game in recorded World Series history. Marlins at Indians, 38 degrees.
Yikes.
That's cold.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, there ain't enough batting gloves.
Yeah, that's going to sting.
Right. Last one. 2008. Nobody will give a shit about this one but me. Joe Sakic scores his final career goal, number 625, against the Oilers. He was my favorite hockey player back in the day when I was an Avalanche fan.
Yep.
But I quit being an Avalanche fan, and now they're good again, and I can't go back to them. We talked about this before, too.
Yeah.
Because I quit.
Yeah, you can't, once you quit, you're out.
I quit, and they were bad, and then now they're good, but I can't go back, so now I'm a Kraken fan. I just can't name any players yet, but that shit's about to change.
Climate Pledge Arena, bud.
Climate Pledge Arena. They're all right up my alley, aren't they?
They are. You're a prototypical team. Perfect for you.
Perfect for me. All right. That's it for sports history. This week in sports history brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We'll be back. Short break and the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's east side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of The Things That Sting, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. Kicking her off with the Cleveland Indians. They're heading to federal court.
I think we kind of predicted this.
We did. Yeah. Well, we said that the roller derby team had made comment about taking them or having an issue with it or whatever. But so some notes on that. The Cleveland Guardians, obviously, if some of you don't know, are previously a roller derby team that is now, their name has just basically been stolen.
Right.
And now it's the Indians. They will be the Guardians starting next season. So the roller derby team has been in existence since 2013, and in a federal court, a document reads it infringes on its trademark. There cannot be 2 Cleveland Guardian teams in Cleveland, and to be blunt, the plaintiff was here first. Kind of nailed it.
Someone's going to get paid.
Right. So the all-gender roller derby team, they have a head start on what we talked about for that. Yeah.
Good.
Their team is based in Parma, Ohio. They registered the name in 2017 with the Ohio Secretary of the State and has been selling merchandise since 2014. In April, the Indians filed a trademark application. This is something I didn't know. This is some shady business. They filed a trademark application for the Guardians' name in the East African nation of Mauritius, effectively hiding the application unless one knew where to look.
Okay.
That's some shady business. So they predicted this too, that there was going to be a problem. And they knew they couldn't get it because it's spoken for. So in June, this is all according to the lawsuit that's been filed in federal court. In June, the Indians contacted the roller derby team, telling team officials it was considering using the name and asked the roller derby team to send them a photo of its jersey. So they didn't steal their logo?
I guess.
It'd be fucking weird if the baseball team had some roller derby people on their jersey, though, right?
Oh, you never know.
So an undisclosed nominal amount was given to the roller derby team, which they rejected. So now they're in court over it. So not so fast, Guardian fans. I don't know how this is going to end, but they have to figure it has to be, I would think, expedited.
The Cleveland baseball team.
Cleveland baseball. There might be that. Yeah, I don't know. So every once in a while, I get listeners who will send me, because I don't see everything. I mean, I try to look as much as I can, and I have every sports app you can think of sending me alerts. But I didn't see this, and this is pretty funny. Bobby Pring sent me a message the other day on Facebook with a couple different articles, and one I really, really thought was just kind of funny. The Carolina Hurricanes, NHL, they play a game against Montreal Canadiens. So they have a troll attempt after the game because they beat them. They have, and this is all planned. Their marketing team, I read about it. Their marketing team has this plan for several teams. Maybe this was first go at it, and we might not see it again.
Okay.
So they tweet out a website after they beat Montreal, and the website is didthehabslose.com. If you click it, it's a big banner that just says yes, and then there's a couple links to like the team store where you can buy some clothes. Well, overnight, some disgruntled Canadiens fan hacked the website so that when you click the link, it went to just an anti-Carolina Hurricane like banter, like just all sorts of shit. So backfire probably. They said they didn't buy the rights to every team for did the whoever lose, they didn't do it for every team, but Montreal was one of them. And it just turns out that they have some tech savvy, pissed off fans up in Canada.
Well, that's the internet for you.
That
Someone's
is the
going to know
internet.
what's going on.
Right. And they also, there was more on this too, though, where they said that the reason they did this was, and they referenced themselves like, we're a bunch of jerks. And I guess that was because of something that Don Cherry had said previously about them. You know who Don Cherry is?
No.
Hockey announcer who wears like
okay.
the crazy ass suits.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like really
Yeah, I got you.
like loud suits, so
All-time backfire.
all-time backfire. The latest things that sting alumni in the arrest category, Delonte West.
I feel bad for. I didn't see what happened recently. But I
Okay,
feel
so
bad
the
for
body
guy.
cam got shared by TMZ, of course, and essentially he shows up at a police department with a bottle of vodka, hammered.
Yep.
And is just standing outside of it screaming shit. And they go try and talk to him. He takes off. I don't think it was much of a pursuit. He just walked away. And at that point, they were already planning on charging him with disorderly intoxication. This is Florida, so I'm not too familiar with the state laws as far as this stuff goes, what the gradings are or anything like that. But the 38-year-old former NBA player gets grabbed up by the police, put in handcuffs. The entire time he's screaming that he's Jesus, that he's better than LeBron and Jordan, and a shitload of anti-gay slurs.
He did bang LeBron's mom. So,
Correct.
I mean, it's just kind of sad because he had major drug problems. Last I knew, Mark Cuban was allegedly like helping him out.
He did. So that was in 2020. Mark Cuban met him at a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Picked him up and drove him straight to a rehab facility and was trying to help him out. And the thing that I noticed too, watching the body cam, is while they're searching him, they're just pulling wads of cash out. So I don't know where he
that's weird.
is still getting money or still has money or what. I mean, he made a bunch of money, so maybe he still has some stash
I thought
away.
he was
But
kind of broke, living on the streets. That's why Cuban went and helped him.
It
was a bad situation.
So he was charged with resisting without violence, which is just being passive. Disorderly intoxication and open container. So obviously the first two charges is what led to the last charge. They knew they were going to arrest him. He began walking away. He didn't put up a fight. He just began walking away, and they charged him with the resisting. So welcome aboard, Delonte.
Sounds like rehab didn't work. Rehab did not.
It doesn't.
Work for that.
Yeah, I don't think it did. This edition of The Things That Sting is powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. We're going to be back with Kelly Renzel talking some baseball, some PETA, and the mailbag. Everybody's least favorite teams. We're going to discuss who you hate. So hopefully we get the comment section jammed up a little bit with some people telling us who's your least favorite teams and why. So we'll get to that here in a minute. Take a break. We'll be right back. Icy Ink in Warren is a great place for personalized gift ideas. They offer custom screen printing, embroidery, and specialize in youth fundraisers. Online stores are available. Check them out on Facebook or at icyink.com. That's ICYYinc.com. No setup fee for youth sports or organizations. Located on Penn Avenue East in Warren, the Blue Building by the Glade Bridge. Or call 814-688-0034. That's 814-688-0034.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My Hive, Joe's very own world of sports.
This week's My Hive segment is brought to you by Icy Ink. From screen printing and embroidery to youth fundraisers and online stores, visit icyink.com. That's ICYYinc.com or call 814-688-0034. Kelly, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear him.
I can't hear.
I was worried about this.
Uh-oh.
Is your mic muted?
Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
I don't know how to get him in here.
This is why you need a hockey guy.
This is why I
/
need
tech
a
guy.
hockey guy and a tech guy. See if this works. Kelly, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you. All right. They can hear him. Everybody who's listening can hear you guys. We can't. That's going to make this extremely difficult. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to start the broadcast back up here in a few minutes. Let me see if I can get this figured out. Okay.